Hey there, Graeme.
Hey, Bashir.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Graeme, some of your students in your weekly class have sent in questions, as we've welcomed them to do. And to everyone else, Graeme and I were thinking, let's try an experiment and just try throwing these questions at Graeme. And maybe we get a good video out of it. Maybe we get some answers that other folks are also in search of. So, Graeme, you ready? You in the hot seat?
Bring it on.
All right, so in advance, thank you again to all the students in Graeme's class for making this possible, and thank you to those of you who sent these questions in. This is from Millie. Hi, Graeme. I'm doing very well, thanks. Trying to get straight on the rules for communicating with a partner at the different stages in the bidding. I have difficulty with a responder bid when I have only 10 high card points and what looks like a poor supporting hand. Regards, Millie. Thanks, Millie. Great question.
10 supporting points, 10 high card points, and what looks like a poor supporting hand. Okay, let's see if this is the option, the sort of option you mean, Millie. Maybe the opener's bid 1 heart and you're the responder over here, west east, and you're sitting over here with 10 points. And if you were to bid 2 hearts, that would show 6 to 9. And if you bid 3 hearts, that would show 10 to 12. Sometimes, sometimes we don't really want to bid to the 1 heart, 3 hearts with only 10 points. So there's a bit of a 1 heart, 2 hearts, 6 to 9, maybe with 10, or 1 heart, 3 hearts with 10, normally 11 or 12. 10 is awkward. I know what you mean. I think in this case, the main thing I'd like to say is don't be afraid to use your judgment. Good. If you think, I just don't like it because maybe I've got a singleton honor, just downgrade it. Call it 6 to 9. And if you've got 10, but you've got a nice long suit or you've got good trump support for partner, just, raise it up a bit. I think don't get bogged down with the 10 business. Don't get bogged down with trying to show your point exactly. You feel free to use your judgment a bit.
Almost like the counting the high card points, they can be a starting point for getting us close to the best way to respond. But then, yeah, Millie and all of us, we can listen to our gut feeling. We don't think these 10 high card points actually represent the strength of our hand.
Right, that's it. 10's the starting point. Go for it, Millie.
Thank you, Millie.
I just want to add one thing. Don't be afraid to upgrade or downgrade. Some people think it's so good, just call it 6 to 9.
Well, thank you, Graeme. Thank you, Millie. All right, here's another question from Edith. Thanks, Graeme. Can you please let me know which of the following settings I need to click? Strong no trump, 5 card majors, weak 2s, stamen, transfers, or do they all stay off? I'm a beginner and currently completing a course at Croxford's Bridge Club in New Zealand. As such, I don't know what all of these mean. All we were told is to follow the ACL bidding system. Cheers, Edith. Thank you, Edith. Another good question.
Okay, good one. I know when you're starting to play bridge, there seems to be so many things to remember. I know. Let's just whip through these things really quickly, and we'll take them one by one there. So first thing, when you're playing ACL, shows 12 to 14 points. That's ACOL. That's the ACOL bidding system. There are some other biddings. ACOL's played in New Zealand a lot, United Kingdom, bits of Australia, around the world. There are other bidding systems where if you open one no trump, that shows 15 to 17 points. And that's standard or something like that. The only difference is they show different point counts. So 12 to 14 is called a weak no trump, and 15 to 17 is a strong no trump. Forget all that. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you're playing a weak no trump, 12 to 14 points, and that's ACOL. Nice and simple. What else do we have? 5-card majors or 4-card majors. So in some bidding systems, if you open one heart or one spade, that shows a 5-card. In other systems, if you open one heart or one spade, that only promises a 4-card suit. And ACOL, an opening bid of one heart or one spade, only promises a 4-card suit. So forget all that. ACOL, you want to play 4-card majors. So weak no trump, 4-card majors. Let's look at transfers and Stamen. Now these, if you're new, if you're just starting, if you're in your beginners classes, you definitely want to turn Stamen and transfers off. You know, I don't think I'm going to even answer. Just turn Stamen and transfers off. They're more complicated system stuff after one no trump opening. But I don't even normally play transfers myself. I just normally switch transfers off. So keep them off. So if you're playing ACOL, you want weak no trump, 4-card majors, turn, but effective bidding system.
And that's advice specifically for beginners, but I imagine you might even give that to the not just beginners, but especially for folks just getting started.
I honestly think it doesn't matter if you're new or you've been playing for 20 years. The worst thing that you can do is learn a whole lot of bidding systems. It just doesn't help. Keep it simple and effective.
What about week twos?
Week twos aren't really a convention or anything. They're just a natural opening bid. So you can, in the same way you can play a weak no trump or a strong no trump, you can also play a weak 2 opening or a strong 2 opening. Are ACOL players more likely to play weak 2s compared to standard players, or is it a choice no matter where you're playing that you should make with your partner, or that you should get advice from your teacher? ACOL players always played strong 2 opening bids, and standard players tended to play weak opening bids. But more and more these days, just about everybody's playing weak 2 opening bids, even if you're playing ACOL. Certainly, I know in New Zealand, weak 2 bids are just taught by default now in beginners classes, even for ACOL players. And it's nothing, it's really not a, weak 2s aren't so complicated. Think of a 3-level opening bid, which you will learn in your beginners classes sometime. A 3-level opening bid shows a 7-card suit and a weak hand. Well, a weak 2 opening bid is simply a 6-card suit and a weak hand. So it's not complicated. It's just natural, simple natural bidding.
Thank you, Graeme. Thank you, Edith. And please relay our warm greetings to everyone at Croxford's Bridge Club. Thank you for sending in that question. And to all the other beginners out there, we're so excited to support you however we can as you start learning this awesome game. Send in your questions. Beginners always welcome. Okay, here's one from Mary. Interesting to learn about the weakness takeout at the beginning and looks really useful. A question though, isn't 2 spades over 1 no trump used as Stamen for a minor or to transfer to a minor? If so, then could you not use it as a weakness takeout? Or it could not be used for any other purpose. Conversely, if you use it only for weakness takeout, then how do you deal with stamen or transfer to a minor? Graeme did not address this in the lesson. Would you please ask him to address it at some point? Cheers, Mary. Thank you for sending that in, Mary, and thanks for being part of the class.
Okay, thanks, Mary. That's, you know, I think this follows directly on from the previous question. So the previous, we were talking about stamen and transfers and all that sort of stuff. It's confusing. To do is we want to simply get to the right contract as simple as possible. Let's take a look at a couple of options. Now let's say that we're talking about an option where partner has opened one no trump. And let's say we're playing ACOL 12 to 14 point opening one no trump. It doesn't matter how many. You might be playing a strong no trump. The principle still applies. Now, if your partner opens one no trump and you've got, say, you know, 3 or 4 points and a 6-card spade suit. Okay, 3 or 4 points and a 6-card spade suit. You're probably not going to want to play in one no trump if you've got a 6-card spade suit. Remember, one no trump promises a balanced hand, 2 or 3 or 4 spades. And if you're sitting over here as responder with a 6-card spade suit, trump. What about the fact that you've only got 3 points? Surely you can't bid with only 3 points. Well, yes, you can. After one no trump opening, you can do whatever you want. So your choices here are either leave your partner in one no trump with your 3 points, which is going to be a terrible contract for partner, or you can, you know, you might want to play in 2 spades. It's still not going to be a great contract with your 3 points, but with your 6-card spade suit, it's going to be better than one no trump. So how do we get to play in 2 spades? Well, the simple way, and if you're just having a beginner's classes, the nice simple way to do this is one no trump, you simply bid 2 spades. And that's it. Partner doesn't bid again because having bid one no trump, normally the person who opens one no trump doesn't bid anymore. So one no trump, 2 spades. Now, suppose you're playing transfer bids. And with transfer bids, so one no trump, 2 hearts would be a transfer to 2 spades. And one no trump, 2 diamonds would be a transfer to 2 hearts. If you're playing transfers, can you still get to play in 2 spades? This 2 spade bid, by the way, is called a weakness takeout. One no trump, 2 spades is a weakness takeout. How do you do a weakness takeout if you're playing transfers? Well, it's kind of simple. Partner opens one no trump. You bid 2 hearts, which is a transfer to spades. Partner bids 2 spades. And now, on the second round, you pass. So you've achieved exactly the same result. In both cases, it doesn't matter if you're playing transfers or not, you still get to play in 2 spades. Both those options are a way to make a weakness takeout. So what does it mean then if you are playing transfers and what would this mean? Now you're playing transfers and your partner opens one no trump and you bid 2 spades. What does that mean? Well, it can't be that you've got a spade suit. If you had a weak hand with a long spade suit, you would bid 2 hearts as a transfer to spades. Partner would bid 2 spades, and then you would pass. So this 2 spade bid is kind of meaningless. it's a spare bid. You've got this free bid that you can use for whatever you want to use it for. What do you want to use it for? There's no right or wrong answer here. There's about what the two-spade bid means. And some people say that some people use this two-spade bid as a transfer to 3 clubs. So 2 hearts is a transfer to spades, 2 spades is a transfer to 3 clubs. Some people use it as a sort of a minor suit Stayman thing. Some people use it as an invitational bid. So whereas 1 no trump, normally 2 no trumps would be inviting to game. Some people say, well, let's make 2 spades inviting to game. It's so confusing. I know. The thing is that it really doesn't matter what you play. You just want to keep it really simple so you understand what's going on. And I know I'm a bit backward with things, but for me, I like 1 no trump. I just like to keep 2 no trumps as natural because I can remember it. I know that after I've been playing for 2 hours, no trumps. To me, it sounds like a natural no trump bid. So I still like to keep that as 11 or 12 points invitational to game. 1 no trump, 2 spades. You can use it as a transfer to a minor, showing a weak hand with a minor if you want to. Honestly, I don't think it matters. I never even use it. If I'm playing transfer, I just basically forget it.
So it isn't, if for partnerships who do play with transfers, it's not a requirement to assign a value, to assign a meaning to the 2 spade response. It's just if it will be used, make sure that you have agreed with your partner what it would mean.
Right.
But maybe the advice for beginners and even not so beginners is keep it simple if you can, and you might be grateful later on.
Look, you'll be every minute you spend with your partner trying to understand or trying to figure is a minute that you could be practicing your declarer play and practicing your defense. You'll wait 6 months before you actually get some really amazing result. You'll wait 2 years before you get a really great result because you've gone 1 no trump, 2 spades, and you've carefully ended up in 3 clubs or whatever. It's just, you know, theoretically it's great, but in practice it's just not that useful. So honestly, some people like that stuff. For me, it's just a waste of time. I just like to bid to this simple contract.
Well, thank you, Graeme. Thank you, Mary, for sending that in. And just a welcome to folks out there. What do you think about that? What do you think about what Graeme's suggesting about transfers, but also about this sort of a 2 spade? What should 2 spade be if you are playing with transfers? 2 spades after a 1 no trump opening. What do you think about it? And we'd love to hear from other teachers as well. But as always, I really do appreciate hearing Graeme's sort of reassuring. I feel reassured that by keeping things simple, it doesn't mean that I'm sacrificing the complexity of the game. And in some ways, I feel more liberated to worry less about having to remember everything, instead being able to really focus on the things you're always coaching us to. Focus on the visualization, recognizing suit combinations, trying to figure out what's in the hands we can't see. But contrasting opinions are always welcome, so please send them in. I think we have one more for you, Graeme. This is from Batul. Batul, thank you for sending this in. Bashir, good evening. Very much appreciate your reply. I play on bridge base. My weakness is on control Q bids. I would really appreciate a small video from Graeme on this. Hope this can be arranged. Good night. Dubai time is 22 hours. Warm greetings to you in Dubai. Graeme, control Q bids. Can we already guess what you might say?
Well, okay, let's if we can spend just a couple of minutes on this, I think it's a good topic. On the last question, we were talking about an option that went 1 no trump, 2 no trumps, and I said for me I like to play that as invitational to game. So 1 no trump, 2 no trumps. If partner's got a minimum opening 1 no trump, partner's going to pass, but if partner's got a maximum, then partner's going to bid 3 no trumps. That's just natural, simple bidding. Now you might be playing, you might decide that you use 2 spades as your invitational bid to 3 no trumps. Doesn't matter, but the fact is that is an invitational bid. And the opener now has to decide, the opener has to make a decision. Am I bidding? Right, now let's look at, think of something like 1 heart, 2 hearts, and this shows 6 to 9 points. Okay, 1 heart, 2 hearts, 6 to 9. So if the opener, sorry, if the responder has 6 to 9 and the opener has, say, 17 points, the opener now has to decide, well, 17 in my hand and between 6 and 9 in partner's hand, that's between 23 and 26 points. So maybe we've got enough to go to game, maybe we don't, I'm not sure. So one thing that the opener could do here is bid 3 hearts. And that 3 heart bid would say, partner, are you on the 6 end, in which case pass and leave us in 3 hearts, or are you go to game? And if you are on the 9 end, you could bid 4 hearts. So you can see the principle is exactly the same. Okay, both of those bids invite to game, and the person who's being invited has to make a decision. Okay, now you all know that stuff. Let me show you a little. I'll just set up some cards here. I want to show you something. We've got ace 4 3 2 and king 3 2 of hearts. This is your hand. You've got queen 3 2 of diamonds, and you've got jack 3 2 of clubs. Actually, I'm not sure. Can you? This is probably a bit messy. Or maybe you can see it okay. Just imagine that's your hand. Okay, you've got 10 points, ace, king, queen, jack. I know you can't see partner's hand, you can't see the opposition, I know you can't see the bidding, but just watch that hand. How many tricks do you feel you're going to get? It's going to be a spade trick, you might make a heart trick. Queen of diamonds, maybe. Jack of clubs, no, that's a point, but it's not necessarily a trick. Let me change that. I'm going to take away the king of, oops, I'm going to take away the king of hearts, and I'm going to turn it into the king of spades. I'm sorry, I know this is a bit messy, but your hand now has become a lot better. That king is now guaranteed to be a trick. Now you've got 2 tricks because the ace and king are working together. Let me do the same thing with the queen of spades.
It's amazing. This ties directly back to Millie's question.
Right. I'm going to take away the queen of diamonds and turn it into the queen of spades. Now that queen, all of a sudden, which was a useless queen, has become a wonderful queen. Now you've got 3 tricks where you used to only have 1 and a bit. Okay. Right, let's do the last one. Let's take away the jack of clubs and turn it into, oh, I've lost my jack of spades. There it is. Let's turn that jack of clubs into the jack of spades. Now you've got 4 tricks. You've still got the same 10 points, but now you've got 4 tricks. That jack, all of a sudden, gosh, it's like an ace. It's a trick. So honor cards working together, points aren't just points. We want our honor cards working together. That makes a big difference. Mm. Right, so now let's come back to our auction. One heart, 2 hearts, 3 hearts is inviting partner to game, but it's a pretty useless bid. It really doesn't help much because partner might have 6 points or partner might have 9 points, but we don't know which 6 points or which 9 points they are. If we could say, look, I want you to have some points, but I really want you to have an honor in diamonds. That would be a really good card for me. Or I really want you to have an honor in clubs. That would be a really good card for me. How can we do that? Well, instead of bidding 3 hearts, what would it mean if I bid, say, 3 clubs? 1 heart, 2 hearts, 3 clubs. It can't possibly mean that I want to play in 3 clubs. There's no way I want to play in 3 clubs. We've got a heart fit. So this 3 club bid is it's called a trial bid. And I know you've got 6 to 9 points. I'm inviting you to game in hearts, not clubs. I'm inviting you to game in hearts. But if you've got something in clubs, that would be really great. That would be really good for me. So even if you've only got 7 points, but you've got something in clubs, let's go to game. That's a trial bid. The point here is that you're still having to make a decision. Someone still has to make a hand evaluation decision and decide whether or not to go to game. Okay, let's now come to the original question, which was about control cue bids. Control cue bids, you can't avoid the fact, we shouldn't avoid the fact that somebody still has to make a decision. It's not like we're not computers, we're humans. We're good at making decisions. So we've got to be comfortable about 1 spade, 3 spades, and responder over here is thinking, oh, 1 club, 1 spade, 3 spades. I think we might have a slam on here. What should I do? You could bid 4 spades, which would be finish. That would be the stop, sign off. You could just bid 6 spades, take a fly, nothing wrong with that. You could bid 5 spades, which would be sort of like an invitational bid in the same way that these other bids are invitational bids. But what would it mean if you bid, say, 5 diamonds? Are we getting a bit messy here? I might just start that auction again.
It's like that 3 club bid. There's no chance you'd actually want to switch over to diamonds at that point.
Oh, sure. Last club. 1 club, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds. This can't possibly mean that you want to play in diamonds because you've already found a spade fit. And it can't be just inviting to game because you can't stop short of game. There's no way you can't stop on 3.5 spades. So this 4 diamond bid, in the same way that these other bids we've talked about are inviting to game, 4 diamonds invites to slam. It's an invitational bid, inviting partner to either stop in 4 spades or bid 6 spades. But it's also saying that you've got the ace of diamonds or a void in diamonds. It's a control bid that's showing first round control, either the ace or a void. Having done that, partner what I'm trying to get to here is that you cannot avoid the fact that somebody still has to make a decision using their basic hand evaluation skills, like we've talked about. It's not a matter of just going, we're not computers doing the thing there. You're using these bids, you're making those bids to help your partner to make a decision. And that's what you're trying to do with a control Q bid. Now, maybe partner still doesn't know what to do. Partner still, I'm not sure if I should stop in 4 spades or I should bid 6 spades. So your partner might then say bid 4 hearts. One club, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds, 4 hearts. And that 4 heart would say, well, look, I know you've got the first round control of diamonds. I got first round control of hearts. But somebody's still got to make the decision. Somebody still has to, do something. So with your control Q bids, don't be afraid of bringing out the human part of you when you play bridge, and don't be afraid to use your intuition. The Q bids and all that stuff, they're there to help, to support your intuition, not the other way around. I hope that makes sense.
So really, really wonderful answer, Graeme. Batul, thank you for sending that in. And thank you all for joining us for that. I think I'll probably rewatch that section just on the Q bids, Graeme. That was really helpful, stepping us through how it might be used, but also reminding us that it doesn't help us. It doesn't prevent us from someone still has to step up to be the decider. And there are pros and cons to whatever tools you use to reach that point.
I think that's right, Bashir. There's sometimes there's the temptation to think, well, I can avoid thinking by learning from bidding convention. Well, you can't. You got to think. Luckily,
luckily, that's the joy of it. So, welcome to everyone in Graeme's class. Please keep sending in bridge questions. We don't know how often we'll get to do a video like this, but if you guys like them, we'll keep doing our best. So to folks in Graeme's weekly class, send in your bridge questions, hello@learnbridgeonline.com. And thank you. Thank you for being in the class and for making this possible. Thanks, Graeme, and thanks everyone for watching it.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Bashir. See ya.
See ya.